Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. So today, I am talking about the Washington Nationals signing two new infielders to contracts. The first is Starlin Castro, and then you also have Asdrubal Cabrera. So neither of these guys are huge names that we're really jumping out of our seats about here, but either way, two really good signings, pretty cheap guys. They've both accomplished things over the years, and they are veterans in the game, so at least you have that aspect of them. And bringing them into Washington, not bad at all. These are not the only two moves we've seen the Nats make this offseason. They also brought back Steven Strasburg and Howie Kendrick, so they are still heavily in a competition aspect going into 2020, and I'm excited to see, of course, the reigning World Series champions in their next season. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the contracts, the stats, all that good stuff, all the info in both Castro and Cabrera's past and all that good stuff. So if you're ready for this video, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter using the links down below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The Washington Nationals and infielder Starlin Castro have agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract. Now, this deal is not yet official as it is pending a physical, but Castro has a pretty good track record. He has been healthy for the majority of his career, has actually played in numerous full seasons, all 162 games, so that is a point I'm going to bring up in a couple minutes here. But Starlin Castro, not bad at all. The plan is for him to play second base, which he will be joining now Carter Kieboom, Howie Kendrick, and Wilmer Difo as the other second baseman currently on the roster for Washington. So, honestly, not bad. Castro is very experienced. He's played with multiple teams in different situations. He just came off of a year with the Marlins, and he's still a young player with a lot of different talent and experience at both the defensive side of the game and offense. He's going into the 2020 season at 30 years old, which is not bad, still fairly young, and he put up decent numbers with the Miami Marlins in 2019, so hopefully he can go ahead and continue to have a good career with the Nats as they need him now. But I'm sure he will probably be the starting second baseman. Howie Kendrick can also play first. There's other ways to throw him into the lineup as well, so I really like this. Of course, Starlin Castro is a Yankee, so I've seen him play for us, and just in general, I think he's a pretty good player all around. Good offense. He's got a pretty solid bat. He's not going to hit a whole bunch of home runs for you, but he will go ahead and produce, and he's got a pretty decent glove as well at second base, so not too bad at all. Carter Kieboom, very young guy. I think he broke into Major League Baseball last year, so Castro might easily be able to go ahead and start over him. Howie Kendrick, as I mentioned, can play anywhere else. And Wilmer Difo is another guy. I would easily start Castro over Difo almost every day of the week, as long as they're both healthy. In 2019, Starlin Castro had 636 at-bats, hitting .270 with 22 home runs, 86 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a .736 OPS. In his career, he has 5,773 total at-bats, hitting .280 with 133 dingers, 636 RBIs, 89 stolen bases, and a .733 OPS. He is a former 4-time All-Star, 3 times in the National League with the Chicago Cubs, and 1 time in the American League with the New York Yankees. Now, last year, he played all 162 games, and he is pretty healthy, so he will have consistent playing time with the Nationals, which is going to be big, because you have Trey Turner at shortstop, Starlin Castro now at second base. It's a pretty solid middle infield. He got a lot of speed from Turner. He's got a good glove. He has the occasional pop in the bat. Now you have Starlin Castro, who does hit pretty well, in a season, .270 in 630-plus at-bats. Not bad. A pretty consistent player, again, as I might mention. So I really like this signing. Personally, I do think it's a pretty cheap deal. 2 years, $12 million. He's getting $6 million annually, and definitely solid pickup. Again, only 30 years old. He can still produce. 86 RBIs last year with only 22 home runs, so he might not hit for power, but he will hit for extra bases and bring in guys when there's people on the pond, so that is big. Of course, every run counts in this game of baseball nowadays, so I'm really excited to go ahead and see Castro in a Nationals uniform start this next chapter. I think this is a very solid signing. Again, 2 years, $12 million, not a lot of money at all. So up next, we have the reigning World Series champions going ahead and agreeing to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract with infielder Asdrubal Cabrera. Now, I like this signing. It is a low-risk, potential high-reward situation, but in my opinion, Cabrera will be a backup. I'm going to explain more on that in a little bit. I will elaborate more. Don't worry. But he is very versatile. He can play majority, if not all, of the infield positions. I don't recall necessarily if he can play first base, but I know he can play third, short, and or second for you. So he will also be a bench bat if necessary. Like I mentioned already, I don't think it's going to be a starter, but he will be able to play for the Nationals, and he does have a good bat. He does have the occasional pop. Doesn't hit a whole bunch of home runs per year, but can bring in a lot of RBIs, much like Castro. Will steal an occasional base, but not very many. And a pretty decent OPS, a little lower than 800 for his career and for 2019. So I really like this signing. Not too bad here. Cabrera has played with multiple teams over the years, and he's got a pretty solid bat. Overall, not a bad player at all. $2.5 million. Very cheap, very easy if they do not like the situation or the production rate that Cabrera has. After 2020, he will become a free agent again, so nice little signing and an addition for the Nationals. In 2019, Cabrera had 447 at-bats, hitting .260 with 18 home runs, 91 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and a 783 OPS. In his career, he has 6,133 at-bats, hitting .268 with 180 home runs, 796 RBIs, 90 stolen bases, and a 756 on-base plus slugging. So if we look at his stats here, kind of similar to Starlin Castro if you look at it. They don't really hit a whole lot of home runs, but they bring in a lot of RBIs for their respective teams. And an OPS ranging from like the 730s to the 760s on a good year. So, not too bad. I do like this. Maybe Cabrera and Castro will kind of alternate time at second base. I don't know where they're going to plan on putting Castro, but I'm going to kind of elaborate here. Like I said before, I do not believe he's going to be a starter every game, or the majority of the time. I do think he'll be a bench bat or a backup in case someone gets hurt. So, why do I think this? Well, Josh Donaldson is still on the market, and, of course, the Nationals just lost Anthony Rendon. So, I believe that these two infield signings, they were within 1 day of each other. This is a precautionary effect just in case Donaldson does not sign with Washington. And at the moment, it doesn't seem that there is a favorite, but he is still up there. It's up for grabs where he's going to go. If the Nationals do not land him, they need a third baseman. Boom, Asdrubal Cabrera can play third. Then you have Trey Turner at short, Castro now at second, and then probably Zimmerman or whoever you're going to put at first, maybe even Harvey Kendrick. So there is a lot of possibilities and questions here with this signing. What will Cabrera's actual role be? But at the moment, I do think he will be a backup. I'm actually going to go ahead and take time to hone in on Josh Donaldson. So reporters say that the Nationals are still in on the bringer of rain. He is a free agent third baseman and has a phenomenal 2019 under his belt after a very injury-prone 2018 season. Now, Donaldson supposedly wants about 4 years for north of $100 million. And with these two signings by the Nationals, it's not really a whole lot of money. They're pretty cheap guys that they just added to the squad. So they could potentially sign the third baseman, but you have to remember that they also have brought back Steven Strasburg and Harvey Kendrick already this offseason. So, there is potential there. Josh Donaldson would be amazing at third for the Nationals. Of course, they did lose Anthony Rendon to free agency. He is now with the Angels. So they need a guy at that hot corner that can really go ahead and be an all-around player for third base defensively and offensively at the plate. So we all know how much production that Rendon created both in the postseason and the regular season last year. They need another top third baseman, and in that case, Josh Donaldson is their guy. He's really the only good infielder that's left on the market, so the Nationals really want to go ahead and make a big offer. And supposedly they have made a deal for over $100 million, but nothing has been said yet. I believe the only two teams that are really in it still, or three teams, are the Nationals, Braves, and Twins. So about a 33% chance that Josh will sign there. I still think that the favorites might be the Atlanta Braves, but it's all going to be a money game at the end of the day. Donaldson wants a certain amount of money. He deserves it. 2019 was great for him, so we don't know what's going to happen, but that is why I believe the Nationals went out and signed Cabrera. And again, it's a one-year contract, so if they can go ahead and secure Josh Donaldson, have control over him for the next 4 years, they're not going to need Cabrera after 2020, and they're really not even going to need him for this next season at all. He is just a guy in case. And if they don't sign Donaldson and they can't get a good third baseman next year at the offseason, then I'm sure they might bring back Cabrera then as well. So I do believe that this is all going to kind of work into effect, that Cabrera might be a backup guy. Castro will probably be a starter for you, but at the same time, really solid moves and cheap guys as well for the Washington Nationals. I like both of these pickups, and I kind of hope that they sign Josh as well. He's one of my favorite players in the game at the moment, and I'd love to see him with a great team. If he doesn't go to the Braves, I'd rather see him go to the Nationals. So that's pretty much going to be it, but I really like both of these signings. Cheap and inexpensive guys that will have a high production rate in 2020. So guys, that's going to end it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, let me know down below in the comment section what you think of both of these signings, and if you think Josh Donaldson will sign with the Washington Nationals. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.